Everybody, what's happening? Sherry here, hoping that you had a very Merry Christmas. I must admit, I took a bit more of a break for the holidays than I intended to. I had hoped to do a video before now, but holiday season took off. I do not think that having a small family does not mean the holidays are busy. I have had something going on every day since December 19th. Seriously. So let's just say that when you don't have kids, family and friends are all too ready to fill the gaps for you and fill your schedule. But it's a wonderful blessing. It has been great to have some time spend with friends and family, celebrate the holiday season, and get out there. But if you're like me, your social battery's probably a little bit drained now. You feel like, oh yeah. My husband and I came home from church today, and we were both saying the battery is getting kind of critically low. It's time to kind of chill out. I'm glad I've got another week off because last week was just a whirlwind. The last 10 days have been a whirlwind, and I'm glad I've got another week off. Of course, people are already prodding about New Year's, like, hey, what you doing New Year's? What's going on there? I'm like, whoa, just let's get the Christmas decorations down. Let's take a breath, take a minute, and we'll just take a few days to kind of get back on track and get settled, get that battery recharged, and just kind of work out where things are. And I actually want to talk to you a little bit about that because we're going into New Year's, and now, of course, the big thing is get ready for New Year's and New Year's resolutions. All right, I am not fond of New Year's resolutions, and maybe you're with me and maybe you're like, what? But I'm not fond of New Year's resolutions. I don't like them because, frankly, I feel like New Year's resolutions are an effort of willpower and not really true self motivation. And I think that this is why most resolutions fail within the first couple of weeks, is because we're relying on sheer willpower to do what we think we should be doing. Well, I think that this week, this time between Christmas and New Year's, is a great chance for us to pause and take a moment to consider, what do you really want? And instead of resolutions, kind of take a broader perspective to think about, what do you want for you? Why are you doing what you're doing? What do you hope to accomplish? What's in it for you? And this has been defined. I do some mindset videos on my Body on Demand app, and they refer to it as defining your why. And I believe that is critical to success in any new endeavor. Now, I'm not saying don't make resolutions. I'm saying maybe you need to reframe the way that you approach it. So, here's what I'm talking about, and here's an example. You know that daily workouts 5-6 days a week, are pretty much a part of my lifestyle. Well, haven't always been. I actually started out with New Year's resolutions to eat right and exercise more, maybe about 10, 11 years ago. Well, the problem with it was I am not an athlete. I'm more of a cerebral type person. You've probably guessed that about me. I'd rather sit down and read a book or write a book than do a workout. I feel like I'm beating myself up. And really, it felt more like punishment. It felt more like an act of sheer will. So, of course, I was very up and down on it. I actually tried to reframe that after a few years of struggling, that maybe what I need to do is establish it as a habit, a daily habit that I don't feel right unless I'm doing it. So I joined the Body on Demand app, set up a weight room, all the exercise stuff in one of the rooms of our house, and my husband and I would get in there, and we did a bit better establishing it as a habit, but it was still a bit of a struggle, still a bit of an act of will. It wasn't until the last few years when I was really working on myself, trying to overcome, my anxieties and all the post traumatic stress of things that had happened back 4 or 5 years ago with some of the losses and challenges that I faced, that I realized what I really hope to gain from my workouts is I want to be a stronger person. I want to be healthy because it just makes my day-to-day life easier. It's a lot less struggle to go through the day when you have a lot of energy, when you're strong, when you're healthy, when you have energy, than when you're out of shape, you don't feel good, you're just lagging, you're tired, your energy levels are low. And I realized when I exercised, not only were my energy levels better, I didn't get sick as often, and I was more creative. My writing actually went better. And of course, it kind of built on from there. I had more energy, I had more inspiration, I had more ideas. I just felt better. I started to see how these regular workouts benefited me in every area of my life. And I thought, this is why I do it. I do it because I want to live my best life and I want to just give it my all. I want to have everything. I want to have really good focus and energy and just be able to be there and do everything that I want to do. And it's not about a number on a scale or even numbers in your blood work. It's just about feeling better, and I feel better when I do it. Boom, that's when it stuck. In the past couple of years, when I made that realization and I came to my why as having it as part of my lifestyle to support me and make me feel better to embrace and enjoy the rest of my life, that's when it finally stuck. That's when I finally quit seeing it as punishment and started seeing it as doing myself a favor and giving myself what I need to live the life I want to live. And when I look back over it, really, I was actually looking at one of my journals. I'm fixing to finish one, and I was looking back at the first pages from about 2.5 years ago, and I saw where I had written that I felt like my life was just really collapsing, and it felt like more and more was just coming out of my life, and it was just collapsing and getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I found it really frightening, and I didn't like it. And I kept flipping through, and I saw as I got back up on, on the workout, on dealing with my health, on dealing with my anxiety issues, on opening myself up and realizing I didn't want that. I didn't want my life to shrink. I wanted it to expand. I wanted to learn and grow and take up more space. There's nothing wrong with that. All of us should want that. Life existence is expansion. We should all be growing and learning and taking up more space in the world. That's why we're here. And I think that's really what we come around to with New Year's resolutions. It's a time to wipe the slate clean, and it's time to just really start over. It's a natural starting over point. Well, yes, you should take advantage of that. But I say, instead of making resolutions this year, why don't we take the next few days and really sit down and explore why we want to make these resolutions? Why do you want to get organized? Why do you want to write that book? Why do you want to change jobs or careers? Why do you want to go back to school? Why do you want to start exercising? Why do you want to take that professional registration exam and get your professional licensure? Why do you want to start saving more money, putting away more, watching your budget, living on a budget? Why do you want to do these things? Really dig in there and ask yourself, what do you hope to gain from this? How do you hope to improve your life? And with that knowledge in mind, your resolutions become less a matter of willpower and more a matter of discipline. Because when those days come around that you don't feel like doing it, when the days come around when I don't feel like opening up that computer and working on my writing, I'm tired, I'm just exhausted, I want to collapse on the couch. But if I want my message to reach readers, to inspire them, to know that they're strong, that you're stronger than you think, and that it's in you to do whatever's in your heart, and all you've got to do is just believe in yourself, be your authentic self, to rebuild your reality into what's right for you, I got to build this broken reality brand. I've got to keep getting it out there to my readers. And if I want to reach my readers, that means reaching out on the good days as well as the bad, getting that computer out. And yeah, of course, like I said, the past week I took a break. That's okay. You need breaks every now and then. But sometimes self discipline is really critical. The motivation ebbs and flows. You're not always going to want to do it. But, you've got to learn to trust yourself and listen to yourself and realize when it's time to push ahead and when it's time to take a break and regroup and reconsider your strategies. So, what I really want to get across to you today is it's okay to take a break and recharge that battery, but also use the time to just look within. Don't be afraid to do it. Look within and ask yourself when you're making your resolutions for the new year, setting your goals, what's your why? What do you hope to gain from this? How do you hope your life will look better as a result of doing this? And then you'll be in a better spot to start breaking it down into actionable steps and make those steps towards your goals each day. We'll talk a little bit more about breaking it down into smaller goals, but for now, let's lay the foundation. Consider your why. Just write down your resolutions. That's okay. But also consider, why do you want this? What do you hope to gain? And how do you hope your life will improve, or you will improve from it? With that, I'm going to wish all of you a very happy new year. Hope that the holiday season has been great for you. Many great wishes for the year ahead. Looking forward to sharing more inspiration, more stories, more encouragement, hearing from you, and just a lot of fun and inspiration in 2026. Have a good one.